7 hidden longevity hacks doctors won't tell you. We trust our doctors to help us when we're ill, and they are brilliant at it, writing prescriptions and performing procedures that save lives every single day. But here's the catch. The system they work in is designed to treat sickness, not necessarily to prevent it. Most appointments are a frantic 15 minutes, barely enough time to talk about the symptoms you have today, let alone have a deep conversation about the next 30 years of your life. What if the most powerful secrets to a long and truly healthy life are the ones that don't come in a prescription bottle? What if they're daily habits, backed by a mountain of scientific evidence that can fundamentally change how you age? Today, we're sharing 7 of those hidden longevity hacks. We've dug through the latest research, from huge population studies to groundbreaking clinical trials, and boiled it all down to the most powerful, actionable strategies you can start using today. This isn't about chasing fads or expensive experimental therapies. This is about future-proofing your body with simple, consistent choices. These are the secrets to boosting not just your lifespan, but more importantly, your health span, the years you spend in vibrant, active health. Let's get into the first one. The first hack sounds so simple that its power is almost always underestimated. Consistent, moderate physical activity. You might be thinking, my doctor tells me to exercise. That's not a secret. But here's the part that gets lost in translation. We're often pushed towards high-intensity workouts, gym memberships, and training for a 5K. The hidden truth is that the single biggest longevity boost from movement doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. Science has been proving this over and over. One study found that people who get about 300 to 600 minutes of moderate activity a week see the most significant drop in mortality risk. But here's the key. Moderate activity is a huge category. It includes brisk walking, dancing in your living room, gardening, or even just taking the stairs. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy gear. You just need to make movement a non-negotiable part of your daily rhythm. A fascinating study even found that the biggest health rewards come from the jump from doing nothing to doing something consistently. Think of it like compounding interest for your body. A small daily deposit of movement builds into a massive reserve of health over time. This is why it's a hidden hack. A doctor can write a prescription for blood pressure meds, but they can't write one for a 30-minute walk every day after dinner. Yet, that walk could be just as powerful, if not more so. It reduces the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and premature death, all without a single side effect. So, find movement you actually enjoy and weave it into your life. Have a family dance party after dinner. Take walking meetings for work. The goal isn't to become a super athlete overnight. It's to become a person who moves consistently every single day. That's the real secret. Walk into any health store and you'll be hit with a wall of promises in a bottle. Boost your immunity, reverse aging, triple your energy. The supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar behemoth built on the idea that we can swallow our way to better health. And while your doctor might check your vitamin D levels, they rarely have time to overhaul your entire grocery list. The hidden hack here is to shift your focus from the supplement aisle to the produce aisle. The overwhelming scientific consensus points to one thing. Diets rich in whole foods, especially plants, are strongly linked to longer lives and a lower risk of chronic disease. We're talking about dietary patterns like the Mediterranean or traditional Japanese diets, which are packed with fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. These foods offer a complex symphony of antioxidants, fiber, and anti-inflammatory compounds that you just can't replicate in a pill. While a daily multivitamin hasn't been shown to help people live longer, a diet rich in vegetables is tied to a significant drop in the risk of dying prematurely. Let's zoom in on a specific overlooked hero, fiber. One massive review, looking at data from over 1.5 million people, found convincing evidence that high fiber intake dramatically cuts the risk of death from cardiovascular disease and several types of cancer. Fiber is the fuel for a healthy gut microbiome, which acts like a second brain, influencing everything from your mood to your immune system. You can't get that from a supplement. The doctor angle here is key. They might suggest a supplement to fix a specific deficiency, but the system doesn't give them the time to be your personal nutritional coach. The real preventative power is in the of your eating, not in isolated nutrients. And this doesn't have to be expensive. Studies show that frozen fruits and vegetables are just as nutritious as fresh ones. So, here's the actionable advice. Instead of spending $100 on exotic powders, spend it on a variety of colorful plants. Fill your plate with them. The goal isn't perfection or becoming a strict vegetarian tomorrow. It's about shifting the balance, making plants the star of the show. That's a prescription for longevity you can fill at any grocery store. For generations, sleep was treated like a luxury. We heard, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," as if burnout was a badge of honor. And while doctors are now stressing the importance of sleep, it's often in terms of next-day energy or mood. The truly hidden, life-changing power of sleep is what happens inside your brain while you're knocked out. This brings us to one of the coolest discoveries in recent neuroscience, the glymphatic system. Think of it as your brain's private cleaning crew. During the day, your brain cells are hard at work, and like any busy city, they produce metabolic waste. Some of this junk includes toxic proteins like amyloid beta and tau, the infamous hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. Here's where the magic happens. Research has shown that during deep restorative sleep, your brain's glymphatic system kicks into high gear. The channels between your brain cells actually expand, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flush through and clear out those toxins. When you don't get enough quality sleep, that cleaning process gets botched. One study showed that even a single night of sleep deprivation led to a measurable increase of amyloid beta in the brain. This suggests that chronic poor sleep could be like letting the trash pile up, contributing to the very plaques associated with dementia. So why is this a hidden hack? A doctor might give you a sleeping pill for insomnia, but that often just creates sedation without promoting the natural, deep sleep cycles needed for this brain cleaning. The real preventative medicine lies in your habits. The steps are clear and science-backed. First, keep a consistent sleep schedule even on weekends. Second, turn your bedroom into a sleep cave, cool, dark, and quiet. Third, create a wind-down routine. Ditch the bright screens for at least an hour before bed. The blue light kills your body's production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Read a real book, meditate, or take a warm bath instead. These aren't just nice little rituals. They are powerful signals to your brain that it's time to send in the cleanup crew. Getting 7-8 hours of quality sleep isn't lazy. It's one of the most productive things you can possibly do for your long-term brain health. Okay, you're more than halfway to building a more resilient, longer-living body. These first 3 hacks, consistent movement, a whole foods diet, and deep sleep, are the absolute pillars. But the next hack is so common yet so profoundly overlooked that it might be the most surprising of them all. This is the one that makes most people pause and say, "Really? Brushing my teeth for a longer life?" It sounds almost too simple to be true. When you go to the doctor, they check your heart, your lungs, your blood pressure, but they almost never ask to look at your gums. That's the dentist's job, right? Well, a growing body of explosive research shows your mouth is a critical window into your body's overall health, and ignoring it can have devastating consequences. The secret is a word you've heard before: inflammation. Your mouth is home to a jungle of bacteria. When oral hygiene slips, the bad guys take over, leading to gum disease. This isn't just about bleeding gums or bad breath. It's a state of chronic, low-grade infection. Here's the scary part. The bacteria and inflammatory signals from your infected gums don't just stay in your mouth. They can sneak into your bloodstream and travel throughout your entire body, triggering what's called systemic inflammation. This body-wide inflammation is a secret killer, a key driver behind many age-related diseases. Studies have shown a direct link between the bacteria found in gum disease and a higher risk of heart attacks and strokes, likely because the inflammation helps build up plaque in your arteries. The evidence is startling. One Japanese study found that men who still had 20 or more of their own teeth had a 42% lower mortality risk than those with fewer teeth. Another review noted that people with 10 or fewer teeth were about 66% more likely to die from cardiovascular disease. This is the quintessential hidden hack because our healthcare is siloed. Your doctor manages your body, your dentist manages your mouth, but science shows they are deeply connected. A doctor won't prescribe you a new flossing technique, but that simple habit is a powerful anti-inflammatory practice. The action items are exactly what your dentist has been telling you for years, but now you know the profound reason why. Brush twice a day, floss daily, see your dentist for regular cleanings. You're not just preventing cavities, you're fighting inflammation, protecting your heart and brain, and adding healthy years to your life. Our next hack moves from the physical to the mental, but its effect on your physical body is just as powerful. A doctor will ask about your aches and pains, and they might screen you for depression, but they rarely prescribe a dose of optimism. Yet, a wave of research shows that your mindset is a remarkably potent predictor of a long and healthy life. Multiple large-scale studies have confirmed this. One major study published in the followed nearly 70,000 women and over 1,400 men and found that the most optimistic individuals had a lifespan that was 11 to 15% longer on average. Another found that women with the highest levels of optimism were far more likely to live past 90. So what's going on? How can a mindset add years to your life? First, optimists just tend to live healthier. They're more likely to exercise, eat better, and avoid smoking. But that's not the whole story. In one of the major studies, lifestyle only accounted for about a quarter of the longevity boost. The rest seems to be biological. Chronic stress and pessimism are linked to high levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that drives inflammation and wears down your body. Optimism, on the other hand, is linked to better immune function and a 35% lower risk of heart problems. Optimists aren't just happier. Their bodies are fundamentally less stressed. This brings us to mindfulness. You can't just decide to be an optimist, but you train your brain. Mindfulness practices, like meditation, are scientifically proven ways to slash stress and build resilience. They teach you to observe your thoughts without getting swept away by them, which helps break the cycle of negative thinking. A doctor might offer an anti-anxiety pill, but they rarely have time to teach you meditation. This is a skill you cultivate yourself. Start small, 5 minutes a day with a guided meditation app or just focusing on your breath. Or try a gratitude practice. By training your brain to find the positive, you're performing a biological intervention that can add not just years to your life, but life to your years. This next hack is so simple, so everyday, that it feels almost trivial. Wear sunglasses. It sounds more like a fashion tip than a longevity secret, right? But emerging research reveals a crucial and surprising link between your eye health, your brain health, and your long-term risk of dementia. Your doctor tells you to wear sunscreen to protect your skin, but the advice to protect your eyes is often forgotten, and the implications are profound. Here's the science. Your eyes are constantly bombarded by the sun's ultraviolet UV radiation. Over the years, this UV light damages the delicate proteins in your eye's lens, causing it to get cloudy and yellow. We all know this as cataracts. We used to think of cataracts as just a vision problem, but the hidden connection is what they might be doing to the brain. A landmark study published in found a strong association. Having cataracts was linked to a higher risk of developing dementia. But here's the amazing part. The study also found that people who had surgery to remove their cataracts were nearly 30% less likely to go on to develop dementia. Researchers have two main theories. First, blurry, dim vision from cataracts means less sensory input for the brain. The brain is a use-it-or-lose-it organ. If its window to the world is faded, it may start to decline. The second theory involves blue light. The yellowing lens filters out the blue light that's critical for regulating our sleep-wake cycle. This can disrupt sleep, and as we learned in Hack 3, bad sleep impairs the brain's waste clearance system, another risk factor for dementia. This hack is hidden in plain sight. An eye doctor will treat your cataracts, but your family doctor likely isn't focused on preventing them as a strategy for brain health. The preventative measure is cheap and effective. Wear sunglasses that offer 100% UV protection. It's not about looking cool or avoiding squinting. It's about shielding your eyes from decades of damage. Think of it as sunscreen for your brain. By protecting your eyes today, you're helping your brain stay sharp, clear, and connected for years to come. Our final hack is one of the most researched and debated topics in longevity science: calorie restriction. The idea that eating less could make you live longer is proven in countless animals, but for humans, the advice has always been murky. Doctors will advise weight loss for obesity, but the idea of healthy people intentionally eating less for longevity is rarely part of a standard medical conversation. It's often seen as too extreme. However, the first ever long-term study of this in healthy humans, called the calorie trial, had groundbreaking results. In this trial, participants who cut their calorie intake by a modest amount, about 12% over 2 years, showed remarkable changes. They didn't just lose weight. The study found this moderate restriction actually slowed the pace of biological aging. It rewired their metabolism and immune responses in a way that boosts health. For example, it helped prevent the age-related shrinking of the thymus gland, allowing the body to keep making new T cells to fight infections. Researchers estimated this could translate to a major reduction in mortality risk. So why the caution label? Because there's a right way and a very wrong way to do this. Extreme fasting or severe restriction can be dangerous, causing you to lose precious muscle mass, which is a disaster as we age. This is why many doctors are hesitant to recommend it. The secret is in the word mindful. The calorie trial achieved its results with just a 12% calorie cut. This isn't starvation. It's about eliminating empty calories and being conscious of portion sizes. It's about nutrient density, making every calorie count. The goal is to reduce energy intake without causing malnutrition. This approach significantly lowered risk factors for heart disease and improved insulin sensitivity. The actionable advice isn't to start a crash diet. It's to practice mindful eating. Pay attention to your body's hunger and fullness cues. Cut back on sugary drinks and highly processed foods. Focus on protein and fiber to help you feel full with fewer calories. Some people find success with time-restricted eating, which can be a practical way to achieve a modest calorie deficit. The key is finding a sustainable approach, a long-term strategy for slowing the aging process at a cellular level. So, let's recap the 7 hidden longevity hacks. First, move your body consistently in ways you actually enjoy. Second, build your diet around whole, plant-based foods, not supplements. Third, guard your 7-8 hours of quality sleep like it's your brain's most important job, because it is. Fourth, take care of your teeth and gums to fight body-wide inflammation. Fifth, train your brain for optimism and mindfulness. Sixth, wear your sunglasses to protect your eyes and, by extension, your brain. And seventh, consider mindful, moderate calorie reduction to slow down aging from the inside out. Living a longer, healthier life doesn't have to be some complex medical puzzle. The power is in your hands right now. By weaving even a few of these scientifically backed habits into your daily life, you are taking profound steps to increase not just your lifespan, but you are choosing a future with more energy, more clarity, and more vitality. You're becoming the architect of your own healthy aging. If you found this helpful and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It truly helps us reach and help more people. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these 7 hacks will you try to add to your life this week? Thanks for watching, and here's to your long and vibrant life.